Oh, yeah. Peace and love, peace and love. We open this divine council meeting in the name of the divine creator. Let's get some screen sharing. See, can we get some screens to share? Let's see. Let's go. Oh, yeah, here we go. Two share. Yeah.
Well, my old cat finally went out. I washed it, and man, it's been out too long.
They did it. Wow, so it's been a beautiful, beautiful week of understanding. I hope I do that. Malcolm's on. Let's get to it. Open up the files. All right, start this off with a Sufa. So it started off with a Sufa. Yes. In the divine name of the Al-Sufian, Sufa 28 and 11. We are one, born from a sacred union of two. Our head to our limbs, to our toes. We are one, born from sacred union of two. All praises be to the divine creator of existence.
Sacred union. You hear how beautiful that is. Sacred.
This is sacred. And so what we're covering is the sacred way.
Yes, indeed.
In older, let's say, Chinese or Japanese language, you would say the Jiao Jing or the Dao De Ching or the Tao Te Ching. Yes, which if you ever wanted to understand where did they get the concept of yin and yang from,
That's where that comes
this is our ancestrals' words. And this is where the yin and the yang concept come from. It comes from the Tao De Ching.
Look at that.
Where words like God come out of. These are ancient languages, pre-Proto-Indo-European for our scholars who got listening ears. And this book is an ancient Chinese scripture. This is not just a book, this is a holy scripture of Chinese scriptures.
Good.
And just to put on the record, this is the most published book after the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita.
What you say? That's beautiful.
This is the third most printed book after the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita.
Look at it.
So we covering something that has tremendous depth, DEPTH, into understanding the nature of harmony. As we know from the Circle 7, from our Honorable Noble, Drew Ali, that the higher self is the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life. So peace be upon all divine prophets. And so as we have covered Confucius, we are covering who is called Lao Tzu, is the author of the Tao Te Ching. Unlike the Bible, they don't know who the author of the Bible is, but we do at K.O.S.
Right on. Well, you know, that has many authors.
Hey.
Every time the author change, the words change.
That's right.
I want to be clear on that.
And so that's why we want to understand that you can keep your Bible, but the church and Christianity, we are returning to their rightful owner.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you can keep studying your Bibles. You're going to need your Bibles because once the truth start coming in,
That's right.
and we start rectifying the truth from the false, you're going to need to see the proof.
That's right.
And so once we have eyes to see, we can see with clear vision, with clear angelic eyes. I'm telling you.
So we do know this, that truth and falsehood been mixed all up like a combo soup.
That's right.
And that's why he was saying, got to know the wheat from the tare.
That's right.
See.
And so this is not about the Chinese don't separate. Now, see, that's a Western philosophy.
Yeah.
That's why the Honorable Noble told us to go to these ancient divine prophets.
Yeah.
So you can understand where holiness comes from.
Yeah.
And what it looks like and operate. Because on the Eastern science is different from the Western science.
That's right. It sure is.
Western philosophy is different from Eastern philosophy.
Yeah.
But K.O.S. is the meeting in between,
Right.
where both East and the West meet.
Yeah.
Because we have the knowledge of the East and the West, and we in the West amongst the spell breaking of the United States, the U.S. courts, taking over what's not theirs, saying they are owners of right or what's not rightfully theirs.
That's right.
There has been a switcheroo. So to unravel the switcheroo, we have to understand how things of ancient knowledge were seen, so you'll know how to live today.
That's right.
There's nothing new under the sun, so ain't no day change. We talking about time and space. And as the divine sacred scripture says, that the divine creator is all time and all spaces. So there's a briefing on what we finna open back up into on this beautiful Holy Friday.
Where we at? Shameless?
Yep, shameless. We on instruction 13.
All right.
Yep, degree.
Okay,
degree 13.
All right, man, all right. He ain't shameless. To be in favor or disgrace is to live in fear. See, all this is shameless. You don't supposed to be living in fear. That the Ku Klux Klan is coming to harm you or take your life. You don't supposed to be living like that. They don't want to come and harm another human being if they ain't done anything. To take the body seriously is to admit one can suffer. Said to take the body seriously. How many today do that and apply that? They treat the body any kind of way with no respect. And when you don't take your body seriously, there's going to be some suffering going on. What does that mean? To be in favor or disgrace is to live in fear, favor defaces. We fear to lose it, fear to win it. So to be in favor or disgrace is to live in fear.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That's pretty much some our life as a people over here in the wilderness of the so-called USA. You constantly living in fear. You're constantly living in where you're going to be able to keep it or lose it. We don't supposed to have to live like that. It goes on to say, what does that mean? To take the body seriously is to admit one can suffer. I suffer because I am a body. If I weren't a body, how could I suffer? Look at that there. So people who set their bodily goods before the public good could be entrusted with the commonwealth. And people who treated the body politic, politely, as gently as their own body would be worthy to govern the commonwealth.
Now, I want us to know that all education is open to all.
Yeah.
There's no children, nor women, nor men that should lack education.
Yep.
So this is why K.O.S. exists, for us to get properly educated in an accelerated form by going through the studies of ancient knowledge compared to the studies of self-knowledge. When we are dealing with divine text is not just divine. It encompasses the totality of all. So that includes life, that includes death. So when we are understanding what is these texts of ancient golden age time periods are offering, they are offering a solution for you to not suffer by wrongfully misidentifying. Through misidentification, creates suffering. And so the reason why China is a greater power in philosophy, in medicine, in awareness of how the nature of the universe works versus the Western, who destroys nature, don't know how nature works, create a lot of plastic, swirl it all around, spill oil in the water, pollute the air. They don't understand the yin yang. And so we don't want to get corrupted to the misconcept of the yin yang twins now. The yin yang in this thing. We talking about ancient knowledge that pre-existed Western civilization by thousands of years. So when we are speaking about what is the ancient knowledge given us, as we was told by the Honorable Noble Drew Ali, that you have the understanding of two selves. And in the Western philosophy, aided by Western theology, these two selves are not talked about as a whole totality. They are separated, and then they are emphasized with names that brings about an externality that now creates an ability for you to perceive something outside of yourself, giving you the ability to now suffer. But when we knew about the yin and the yang, it wasn't any suffering, because this is the balance of, or in the Circle 7 talk, in Moorish language, the higher self is the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life. So either or wasn't never a choice for us. Like night and day was neither a choice for us. It was something that was just present. It was either daytime or it was presently night. But we didn't favor the nighttime over the daytime, nor did we favor the daytime over the nighttime. So in the same conclusion, on the same shameless, when we are reading to be in favor or disgrace is to live in fear. When we have a choice called a dilemma, and we have to choose either or, this is what brings about suffering, because you don't choose either day or night. If you choose day, you have to understand nighttime comes with it. If you choose nighttime, you have to understand daytime comes with it. So take, for instance, to speed the modern day up, if you having a game, a championship game, there can't be two winners. There's got to be a either or. See, and this is what Western philosophy is built upon, based upon sports ideology, which lives in an either or paradigm, which is a two-dimensional mathematical flat problem. It's okay because that exists, but that's not the totality of all of encompassing. So we have to live in an and situation, A-N-D, and not O-R. These are two separate conjunctions, like a fork in the road. One taking you the wrong way, and one taking you the right way. So or will take you on the wrong way, and will take you on the right way. So this is why you hear the Al-Sufian or the Sufian. Words play a critical role into your cognitive ability. So if we choose, let's say, the Celtics, and then the Celtics lose, then you lose. But before you chose, you won.
Look at that.
You was winning. It's not until we came into the choice of either or is until we started losing. So now let's hijack it up all the way to rich and poor. There's no such thing as rich or poor.
That's right.
This is a game like sports, being played on the minds of the believer. So to be poor is the fear to never have enough money.
Come on with it.
Which now can bring in a problem.
That's right. That's right.
Because money ain't the end and be all. Now let's go to the rich side. The rich side, they don't need money.
That's right.
So they don't favor money as the poor person favor money.
That's correct.
They looking at it a totally different way. So we have to understand, even the rich is suffering. Because the rich needs the poor in order for them to operate. Because the rich don't pay the rich.
That's right.
And the rich don't work for the rich.
That's right.
The rich have the poor to work for the rich. Without the poor, the rich can't have no community.
That's right.
What you gonna see all the rich people out doing?
Get down in your kids and get dirty. Oh, man.
No sirree, Bob, as they say. So we must take that as an ideology and now see that choice is bringing the option of a duality. When choice is the ability. See, this is what the Sufian is rediscovering to your nature. Choice is not something you have to make. Choice is an ability, meaning you able to choose. Meaning if something now comes wrong, you can now choose the right way. But when you're on the right path, you don't have to choose the right path. You already on the right path. That's when they say you just stay on the right path. You ain't got to get ready. You just stay ready.
Just stay ready. That's right.
And we want to remember, we born from a sacred union of two. From our head to our limbs to our toes. Thus, where spirit joins flesh and life flows. Not or life flows. So this is what we have been called the tree of life community. The tree of life. There's no death on the tree of life.
Right on. And see, when you have a healthy mind, it's going to produce a healthy body. And how you can tell whether people have a healthy mind, observe their bodies. And we know for a fact that this USA is #1 in obesity, which means that they #1 in bad bodies, #1 in bad minds. I asked a young lady in public, if you got a healthy mind, you're going to have a healthy body. So I asked her, did that make sense? She said, yeah. And people ain't looking at it that way. But things you have to point out. Because that's what they're talking about there. Seeing that way, then you can govern your own body. You won't be running to them doctors and load up on pills, and the pills still ain't fixing your problem. You're going to the doctor and you're still sick. Something ain't right. You're taking his medication and you're still sick. You still have a problem. All that can be fixed with the right knowledge and the right truth. Either wrong truth or right truth. You will know it when you have it.
right, we're gonna
There's some
move
more
to the
writing
next.
on the backside back here.
Yeah, it's commentary.
Oh, commentary on what we read. Okay, we on 14.
Yeah.
Celebrate mystery.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of mystery out here as well.
Yeah. Instruction 14 and degree 14. Celebrating mystery. And remember, from our ancient knowledge, mystery is the mastery. The mystery system was the self-mastery system. Self-mastering the higher self and the lower self. Praise be to the divine creator. Instructions begin as look at it, nothing to see. We're talking about the mystery of self. Look at it, nothing to see. Call it colorless. Listen to it. Nothing to hear. Call it soundless. Reach for it. Nothing to hold. Call it intangible. Call it immaterial. We're going deep here. We're going beyond the five. Beyond the five that fail. We're talking about the senses. That which is self is beyond the senses. So when we need to understand, you have to understand self is beyond the senses. Next, triply undifferentiated. It merges into oneness. Not bright above, not dark below. In the Moorish language, thrice blessed is he that have made purity and love his very own. Teach them that the holy breath will make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. That nothing can make them one but love. So we are speaking about understanding here that has to come together. It has to merge all into oneness. This is what we call al-wahid, not tawheed. Wahid, from wadu. Wadu is divine love. So divine oneness is wahid. So we understand in our divine language as it's resurfacing and bringing about our divine understanding and our divine identity through comprehension of language and its meaning. This is how you save yourself by returning to your divine life or your deific life. Per Noble Drew Ali. Next lesson. Never, oh, never can it be named. It reverts. It returns to unbeing. Call it the form of the unformed. The image of no image.
Okay. Now you see it, now you got it.
We're going in. Hey, we're going in. Hey, because it was a moment you seen something. Let's go say like that. It was a moment seen something. And we say what that that you were seeing was your own being.
Yeah.
So when you look in the mirror, that is your own being.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not who you are.
That's right.
Who you are is not in that mirror.
Yeah.
That is what we're speaking about.
Mm-hmm.
That is what must return
Mm-hmm.
to its owner.
Yep.
And we must understand this phrase where it say never, oh never can it be named.
Mm-hmm.
In ancient knowledge, before we got into Western theology, the divine creator name has always been sacred since ancient knowledge was first written down. When it was first written down, the most sacred thing to be written was the name of the divine creator. And our people were so understanding in the form of wisdom that they left the name of the divine creator in many orthodox ways.
Yeah.
That other anti-nations don't understand, because we always view this name as sacred, and it's too sacred to be spoken with a foul mouth.
That's right.
Or a fleshly vessel. So we had to understand how to communicate this in writing, but not also ourselves deliberate destroy the name, but also put it in a way that you can reveal itself, but it also reveals you, but it also reveals the divine, but not destroy the name. So these anti-nations came and they ran into this problem. And they never been able to solve this problem to this day because they destroyed all the knowledge which pertains to the understanding. So now when we bringing it in, this is where you get the name, the divine name of the divine creator name. And this is where all property returned to its owner. In this text, they call it the Tao. This is how language grows and it becomes loud. So when understanding from ancient language, this is where you get a law. But a law is not to be sounded. That is a meaning when you say it out loud. It turns into a meaning. And the word, what you hear conveying the meaning to your mind, is to convey that it's returning to silence. Do, re, mi, fi, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. So when you put the A in front of la, it takes away the sound. So the A in front of the la takes you back to silence. Before there was a sound, or they would tell you the temple made without hands and without the sound of a hammer. Oh yes, Hiram Abiff wouldn't teach y'all this. So when we are talking about this, is why the story of Hiram Abiff, because if you understand the story, what they call a folklore is not the words of the divine creator. Those are words of man. Folklore, a story. How you lost the name of your divine creator. And we have to understand that story to understand how you lost the name, which is the vocal cord. The vocal cord, he was hit and struck in the vocal cord, meaning that you could not pronounce the name anymore. But the name wasn't a Masonic threat. It was a ancient symbology of silence. But they turned it into something called cutthroat. Cut your throat or backlash. So this is what all the dirty Masons have created. So now when we understand why these teachings have not been taught, is because they don't bring holy texts in. And so when you don't bring holy texts in, now you can start doing as you may. And so the wishful master do as he may, because he understands these ancient texts when you don't. And instead of reading them to you or y'all read them together, he makes you pay dues you can earn. And all this is false notion. This is not how you accelerate learning, and this is not a prime education of the prime divine creator, who allows no one master over all authorities. That would take the place of the divine creator if we had in the logical sense. So now when we are speaking about the name, this is why the Masons hold the name as Jehovah. But that's not the name. That is the sound put together after using a corrupted form. That belongs to the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is a 4th century iconography. So we must understand the divine creator existed way before the 4th century. So where was the truth before Christianity? It was in ancient knowledge that was burned by the same people who declare themselves in the name of Christianity today. So when we are speaking in the language of our ancient forefathers, the Asiatic language, we look from a different perspective. We have an Eastern mind in a Western body. So we have to understand the meeting of two identities, why you saying African American. Because there are two pathologies that you have to understand as identifications. One is prime and one is later. They come together, but not as in physicality. Physicality, you can't be from the East and the West at the same time physically. But spiritually, you can. And this is what antinations cannot understand, or antichrists cannot understand. How can all this be inquired all into one vessel? And our divine word for it is the Nafesh Shema. This word is the collection of all divinity, including your physical flesh. But your physical flesh is not associated as a separate entity as it is in other theologies and dogmas of religions. This is where you have to be key. That's why we read specific holy texts of ancient knowledge at K.O.S. The Bible should be read by our people. It's been here long enough in the West for all of us to know the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Yeah. To have a whole class on something that people was already introduced in, that will take some time. And so that's over 1,000 pages. But if the people want it, it'll get done. Al-Rakbar, Allah. So when we finna continue to the next lesson of the paragraph, call it unthinkable thought. We're talking about our divine creator. Call it unthinkable thought. So can any other nation think about how your divine creator think about you? Good question. Remember, man is a thought of all law. And all thoughts are infinite. So we have to understand what is being said here. If you can see man, then you can see thought. What this is speaking on is the unseeable man, the unseeable self, the invisible you called the invisible self, the divine self, the one that's do the thinking, but the one that is unthinkable. Now we're going to go. Oh, I thought hands were raised. So we want to say, call it unthinkable thought. No face. There's a saying in the Quran of Mecca that I am the owner of the two east and the two west. So this is the two east and the two west. One you can't see and one you can see. Who you are is the one you cannot see. No matter if you go in a mirror, it don't matter if you go in the dream world, it don't matter if you go into sleep. You still never see you. But you see 180 degrees away from you. So this is what it means, face it, no face. At the time of death, this is where we come back to no face. Here we have a face you can look at called a perspective, a surface, something you can look at. But death is where you meet your true self, which has no face. So as they say, out of darkness comes the light. So you don't see the face of nothing if we go in a dark room. But in that same dark room, if we cut on the light, we can see the face. We call the face identity. So when it comes to identity with self-identity, we have to understand spiritual identity and physical identity. So spiritually, you can be African American. Spiritually, you can be black. Spiritually, you can be anything, NTC. Physically, that's a whole nother ball game. You can't be African American. You can't be black. You can't be anything that your creator didn't make you to be. So these are the things we have to understand, and that we're not our physical identity. Our physical identity includes, at its highest, our name. At its lowest, our flesh. Both these two, someone calls your name, that operates your flesh. That's not who you are. You existed before you had a name. Before your mother named you, you was. This is what we have to all come back to, our old way. As the Honorable Noble said, the old time religion. Remember, Abraham had many sons. And we say the sons of Allah, the sons of Allah. Is so. And then the next one says, follow it. No end. Holding fast to the old way. As the Sufian tells us, this old way that Western philosophy and theology has not even hint us to, metaphysically nor physically, of this called the Al-Sufian. And so this is my greatest discovery as of yet, since being on this plane. And so this discovery have led to all the discoveries. So as Christopher Columbus say he discovered America, well, I discovered the Al-Sufian for all humanity.
How about that?
So this ain't particularized to just America or just to Christopher Columbus. Now, the reason why it says to hold to the old way, as you see as I bring up the proof, the document, the Sufian, not only is the title of the sacred scriptures, it's also a name of the divine creator. And it's the second name of the divine creator. And the divine creator tells us that his way is a sacred gift. And those who understand his way, what we reading as the old way, these are the ones, number Musi 10, these are the ones who may be certain.
Certain.
We're talking about the certain way. Certain of the truth that they can never die. And now let's bring in the identification. Physical dies. The spiritual meets death. Die and death is not the same. Dying is not a name of the creator. Death is a name of the creator. And now under the auspice of death, it's okay to die. But under the auspice of the flesh, that's misidentification. That's called physical identification. And now you are identifying with the flesh, which is the body. Now you are infused with name and flesh and thinking you are the production of these two. When you are something prior to these two that pre-existed, making the body or the flesh come alive, as it say, as spirit joins matter. So we want to hold on, holding fast to the old way. We can live in the present. We can live in the present.
Can I say something?
It's very open.
On the old way, if you notice in these books, when the trans start writing other books, for some reason, they've gotten away from the old way, and now they call like the New Testament. For a good example, you got an Old Testament, an Old Testimony, and now you got a New Testimony. If the new is in line with the old, and if it's not, you better be mindful and careful of that new you're reading, because it's subject to change. Or what can be new when it comes down to truth? The old truth you can still is good for the present. What you need new?
Yeah.
But you have to watch all that. See, and now, when you look at the Bible, it said the Old Testament and the New Testament. Testament ain't nothing but just like a testimony. So we have to be extremely careful there, because the fact that when you translate something, it's going to change. It's not the origin.
And that was that's why they translated it.
Yeah.
To take whoever believes in what they translated.
Yeah.
To take them away from the truth.
That's right.
And name the falsehood as truth.
That's right.
And then have them believe the falsehood as truth.
That's right.
And that way now they can believe in an identity that is not the original identity.
Yep. That's right.
And so language is key. And this is why the Al-Sufian says that the divine creator Al-Fatiha is the all language. Allah is all language. See, and they never said that in other scriptural texts regarding humanity.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't matter what language you call the divine creator in your language. The divine creator is all language. So now when we understand the meaning of the divine creator, this is where the faith is born. Without this knowledge, there is no faith. The faith is with a falsehood. And you don't want to have your faith in a falsehood. That don't go together. So on 15, like the noble honorable said, that the faithful is the ones that can call themselves faithful. The one who attend their meetings, the one who do their good works, the one who live a virtuous life. Call these faithful. And this is what the Al-Sufian reports per the statement from Noble Drew Ali. The faithful do not die. The faithful do not die, for they become translated. Ain't that funny now? We have a word called translators. And translators love to translate language. And just how they easily took the truth and translated it into falsehood, so the faithful will be translated to the world of eternal existences by being faithful to the truth, the holy teachings of the Al-Bakar, the Al-Bakr. And see, this is critical for all believers. Yeah. Oh, you who believe, not the unbelievers. And so we reading the Tao Te Ching, which is from one of our ancient forefathers, a believer of the way of the divine creator, and live that way. The next line says, mindful of the ancient beginnings. Uh-oh, that was just mentioned. Mindful. Now, mindful, this means spiritual.
And we know for a fact, this way here, what they doing in modern life ain't got nothing to do with no ancient.
Nothing to do with ancient.
Nothing whatsoever.
If anything, the only thing ancient to them is the ancient of Rome.
That's right. It began. They do. They keep that up. That's
from
right.
2,000 years ago, ancient Rome would seem ancient.
Yep.
But from Rome's standpoint of view of coming into all this culture, they obeyed.
They obeyed. Right on.
So right on. What the ancients talked about was ancient knowledge and wisdom, and they had to deal with a holistic science.
Yeah.
Which included spirituality, metaphysicality, and the law of physics. These three was called the triune all law. With these three, it covers all. You can learn how to feed your own body medicine, because in the ancient times they call it a med bed.
Yeah. Your
body was a med bed. They knew how to produce medicine out of the brain and let it flow through the body and cure the body.
Beautiful.
This is the sciences that we have and that we have today and that we know today. Dr. Sebi was a big, and Dr. Africa both was a big launcher.
That's right.
Into this awareness.
That's right.
But it go beyond what they was telling us, that was leading us to the way of the breatharian, which is going to lead us to the way of pure holistic science.
Right on.
And so this is what we call holistic or holism or holiness.
Yeah.
This was our only form of awareness in ancient times, was holiness. So holiness was of the ancient beginnings where they hold the thread of the Tao. You might have heard it as the rope of Allah.
Yeah.
See, all this is the same language.
Yeah.
Remember, the divine creator is all language. When we talking about al-Rakba law, then we are speaking about a holistic understanding that brings about a wisdom just from the understanding alone. And that's why they were saying, with all thy getting, get understanding. Because if you get understanding, wisdom comes with it. It's like a root and a branch. And when we have understanding, then we are cognitive. But now we're not cognitive of the metaphysical, we are cognitive of the spiritual. Now we can identify ourselves from a higher plane of spirit life. Without that language, you cannot view yourself out of the highest plane of spirit life. You can only view yourself from the lowest plane of things made manifest, called Black, African American, and other names that slave owners gave their slave.
That's correct. That's where it comes from.
Prisoners.
Right on.
Because you don't do nothing, you don't have nothing in this world but slave holders.
That's right.
And slavery is a crime in the Al-Sufian.
It sure is.
So any way and shape that slavery is permitted by way of money, or obligation, or taxes, or interest,
working on
these are forms of slavery. And under the guise of the Al-Sufian, this is a crime and a transgression. And until our indigenous tribes are all either Sufians or in their tribe upholds the law of the Al-Sufian. This is how everyone gets free. And so this is the divine mission to bring about the divine resurrection for all humanity, for all heavenly souls, for all our heavenly brothers and sisters. The evil already got their plane. So it's time for ours to emerge. And it's going to emerge from our ancient state of thinking, which was an unthinkable thought. That's something to think on now. Unthinkable thought.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And this thread, this is what we call the one-on-one. We call it the circle and the line. This is the only thing that exists. The circle and the line. So just like the rod, that's a thread. An axle, that's a thread. A spine, that's a thread. So those are physical identities that a thread exists, but now we always got, if there's a visible, we always got to find the invisible. The invisible thread is self. This is the invisible thread that you cannot see, but if you do it right now, stand up, it holds the body together. Can't nothing hold the body together except self.
That's right.
Stand up and see. Now stand up for As-Salam. Rise up, rise up. Stand up, stand up. As-Salam, As-Salam.
Right on. And I want to say this is that look how philosophy and someone else's idea have instilled in our mind that some Republican Party or Democratic Party is the way and can fix your problem. We think that we looked at that and we look to voting is going to fix our problem, and the one we voting is going to fix it. He's sick as hell. He has a problem. How you going to fix your problem? Just because he wear that suit and tie in front of the camera and saying he can do this, he can make America great again, and this and that and that and this. And if you notice, all them that's saying that is filled with trouble, a sea of trouble. Right now, the two men running for president, both of them got a sea of trouble. Ain't gonna fix what? Our problem? And people believe that.
That's why I need people help to spread this Sufian awareness. I may be the discoverer, but it don't belong to me. It belongs to us. So we must understand that this has been hidden from us by them.
That's right.
They who wrote those fake books.
That's right.
And put the word holy on.
Now the book is more holy than the person itself. How can a book, if somebody wrote the book, how can a book become holy and you a filthy rag or a sinner? You believed it. They said it. Somebody else's idea, somebody else's word. You heard it, and now you believe it.
That's why K.O.S. Al-Sufian community is reestablishing the Al-Sufian Divine Council of North America.
Beautiful.
In real time, in real action. Everybody will come through the opening of the Al-Fatiha because this is designed by the divine creator, revealed by the divine creator. So we need to understand, just as the United or the U.S. have a democratized, republicanized form of constitution. And in the preamble, it commences by saying, "We the people." Now that's a stolen line. That is a plagiarization of the Al-Sufian. The people is the 144th Sufa, which means the character of wisdom, and it's the 101st name of our divine creator. So the rights of the people comes from the divine constitution of the Al-Sufian of 610 CE. So divine law is promulgated. Divine law has been propitiated. Divine law has not and never will be abrogated. Only the translators can abrogate you from your divine rights. We can change birthrights now into divine rights. When you have divine rights, that include birth rights. But birthrights is physical identity. Spiritual rights is divine identity. We as a people are Sufiyans, and we must declare and proclaim our name. Sufian American. This is the holy name of the people who follow the way And we ain't talking no nationalism. This is divinity and divine movement. This has nothing to do with nationalism or national identity. We passed that. This is about spiritual identity. Do you do the way of the divine creator? Or let's go to the Al-Fatiha, Musi 11, or do you follow that way? Do you follow the way of those who the divine creator favor? Or do you follow those, as 11 say, not the acts of those who go astray? So there are only two ways, the way and astray. So the people have been claimed by the divine creator to be his Al-Sufians for time immemorial and forever in perpetuity, from divinity to natural divinity. This is your natural divinity by nature, aka your divine nature. So this is what we must understand, because we're finna go into our next instructions and degree. The people of power.
People of power.
We ain't the people of no power. We was made by the divine creator.
Yeah.
All people.
Don't lost that power.
Except these idiots who telling us otherwise.
There you go. There you go.
Yes, on you, great.
There you go. Because see, once upon a time, I'm glad you pointed that out. Before the invader came, you already possessed a power. And when the invader came and brought up his constitution, he taken away your power. He made you 3/5 of a man when he was there. But he made you less. You had power. You think because you don't have no money, you powerless. Now look what you have done to yourself, just psychologically. No money, no power.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because our honorable noble prophet, who was an angel sent by the divine creator to North America, that it ain't money that make a man.
Thank you.
Never was it money that made a man. It was divine character.
Oh boy, look at him.
That made a man.
Look at him.
And when you find your divine character, your riches shall return, called gold and silver, yes, or whatever else you want to call them, right, in these days and times.
Right on. Okay. People of power. Once upon a time, people who knew the way were subtle, spiritual, mysterious, penetrating, unfathomable. Did you hear that?
People of power is who we are.
What happened to you? What did your spirit go to? How can you become Humpty Dumpty, sit on the wall? Since they are inexplicable, I can only say what they seem like. Cautious. Oh yes. As if wading through a winter river. Pretty cool. alert, as if afraid of the neighbor. Alert and cautious. Polite and quiet. You don't see politeness no more. It's gone. All you see is people with bad manners. Talk to you in a kind of way, treat you in a kind of way. Don't believe in sharing and caring. And saying all the wrong things. It's a polite and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Like house guests. Elusive. Like melting ice. Blank. Like uncut wood. Empty. Like valleys. Mysterious. Oh, yes. They were like troubled waters.
People of power.
I remember the song, A Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Who can be stillness, little by little? Make what is trouble grow clear. Who can, by movement, little by little, make what is still grow quick?
Mm-hmm. Remember, it's the spirit that quickens.
That's right.
Not the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Come on with it.
Yeah. And see, and that's why so many of us is in trouble today because of the flesh. And we ain't becoming more spiritual. But we're becoming more flesh in them, the desires. And this is what everybody in the lower self constantly in trouble. And they paying a price. They're dwelling in the lower self instead of the higher self, which is spiritual.
That's right. That's a ball.
To follow the way is not to need fulfillment. You good to go.
To follow the Al-Sufian.
You following the Sufian the way.
That's right.
You good to go. That's the second name of Allah. The way. You done left and abandoned Allah, and now you done picked up some old Roman God.
And that's so
Or some Christian God with no name. They say, what's your creator name, God? That's it? Yeah, God. Let God fix it. Unfulfilled it. Unfulfilled it. One may live on, needing no renewal.
That's the power the people hold.
Mm-hmm. You know, when I think about living on and doing on and keeping on, it's about like when that old COVID-19 came out. It has stopped everybody dead in their tracks. A lot. If somebody coming cooking up something in the lab, they stopped. The worship was dead in their tracks. They closed the churches down, everything was closed down. We were still open. We was just like the air party house. we were still studying.
Yeah,
And with no disease and no sickness, exclaim that. This is real, baby.
Mhm.
Why? Because we knew the way.
That's it. That's it. That's it right there. And people who didn't know the way,
that's right.
They went astray.
Yeah.
They went astray.
Yeah.
And this is the beauty of, this is why I love what I do.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't change what anybody.
I don't blame you, brother. Go
because
back. Mm-hmm.
When you understand spirituality, and we're not talking from a book,
yeah.
We're talking from experiences
mm-hmm.
by experientially. So experientially, these things have taken place, but one is not asleep to what's taking place.
Yeah.
One is wide open.
Mm-hmm.
And so when one is wide open, that's when the spirit. I've been trained for something that I didn't know I was being trained for.
Look at it. Look at it.
And when we're talking about the people need this type of understanding accelerated.
That's right.
And when we're talking about the way, this has been known because they always got phrases as if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
But we didn't never know where these things come from or what the instructions are to this world that we in.
Yeah.
People will say that this world don't come with instructions.
Yeah.
But that's what the translator said.
Yeah, that's right.
Our divine creator will never send us anywhere without having instructions. This is why you got to know who made you, because that's who sent you.
That's right.
And who sent you, they want the job done.
Yep.
So when we are talking about only the divine creator send angels, because angels get the job done. And when the job is done, they go back home.
Yes,
so when we are talking about the people need this resurrection, this salvation, and this redemption. And they need it in a form that they can understand. It's not about worshiping something outside of yourself. It's about you becoming like that which you worship. So you have to understand, you have to become God in a Christian view.
Yeah.
If your faith ain't becoming in the likeness of God, holy, 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 then you're not on the way. God became man so man can become God.
Yeah.
Man got to raise up.
Yeah.
Man is a thought of our divine creator.
Yeah.
See, God is a thought of our divine creator, and man must raise himself to God's thought, God level, Godhood, where we call it the great God, the higher self. And this is where you have fulfillment, and there's no longer anything can fulfill this. Because we have dissolved something back into its original roots, which is nothing. Where did we come out of? The same place where did thought come from. If you can find out where thought came from, you can find out where you came from. Because you came as a thought of the divine creator.
Beautiful.
And that's the way it always will be, and don't let a translator trick you out of it. And the next instruction is return to the root. Look at it. Yep, return it.
You know, and I used to think about the book of Isaiah.
Some deep
and when I used to read, he said, my thoughts and your thoughts are different. Just like heaven and earth. He said, my thoughts. And you start thinking about the thoughts. High and low. Higher thoughts, lower thoughts. Higher education, lower education. You can't give a kindergarten a higher. You got to gradually raise him to train him right so he can You can't just skip them.
Right.
From
That's
just
right.
can't do that.
You can't.
You got a starting point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, we talking about returning to the roots.
Yep. Turning to the root.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to find. Returning to the root. And that's why we can return the church and Christianity, because that's not our root.
There you go.
Those are the invaders' root.
Right. That's right. That's a fact.
And that's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
By the likeness of our likeness. Instruction 16 degrees 16. Returning to the root.
Mm-hmm.
Be completely empty.
Mm.
Our word for empty is asalom.
Mm-hmm.
Be completely salam.
Mm.
Peaceful. Be perfectly serene.
Look at that. Serenity.
Mm-hmm. The 10,000 things arise together.
Mm-hmm.
In their arising is their return.
Mm-hmm.
Now they flower, and flowering sink homeward, returning to the root. The return to the root is peace.
Mm.
Is that not Asalam? Returning to the divine creator is Asalam, Al-Sufian.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it means, the way of peace,
Mm-hmm.
the way of life, the true way,
Mm-hmm.
the one way,
The one way.
the holy way.
Yeah. They don't change it from one way and put highway.
Yes,
and
highway.
Everybody traveling down the highway.
Yes,
now.
or my way.
On my way.
They say hit the highway. If you don't like it my way, hit the highway.
Hit the highway.
Look at this mental virus.
Yes, indeed. That's what that is. Right?
That has been spread far and wide.
Mm-hmm.
We thought syphilis or chicken pox
Yeah.
or smallpox
Yeah.
or measles or something.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like this mental virus.
Right on.
This mind virus
right.
spread it by this invader
Yeah, good.
and his fake false religion,
Yeah.
which never had a God that existed in them.
Mm-hmm.
It says we're going to return to our Salom, which is to say the return to the root is peace. Peace is to accept what must be. To accept what must be. To know. He who knows well as high himself knows the things that will not pass away. To know what endures.
Right on. Right on.
Peace is to accept what must be.
Mm-hmm.
And peace is to know what endures.
Right on.
In that knowledge called peace is wisdom. Is wills. I hope y'all see the word is in wills. The wise dome. Al-Sufian. Without it, wisdom, ruin, and disorder. Without this understanding, people will experience ruin and disorder.
That's right.
And in this time period, there's ruin and disorder. So we must understand the only thing that's going to get us out of this is peace and wisdom.
Yeah. And just look at today's society. instead of doing it with peace, they dropping bombs. They want to drop more bombs and kill more people. That ain't the way out. You're going to have more killing and killing and killing and increasing and increasing. And this what, look what we don't wind up at now. And that's why they holler say, well, in the Bible, it's going to be wars and rumors of war. That's what the translator wrote. And you believe it. What happened to peace? It wasn't war from the beginning. But you wrapped up in these philosophies and these invaders' ideas.
Mm-hmm. And not knowing that the very word Al-Salam means peace.
Mm-hmm.
The very word Al-Sufian means wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
The way of the wise.
Mm-hmm.
Very specific. The way of the wise. So when we say Al-Salam, Al-Sufian, this is saying peace and wisdom. This is the return of the divine creator. And we have been misinformed by the translators who said it was called Islam.
Yeah.
You don't get Islam out of Al-Salam. You just don't. You have to merge. But how did, if Islam was the name, then why did we miss the word peace?
Thank you.
Why we don't say the word salam?
Yeah.
Salam means peace.
Yeah.
You saying Islam.
Yeah.
That's like slamming peace. Slamming peace down, that's war.
Yeah.
The self, which is I.
Yeah.
I self, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say I salam, this is talking about the self comes in peace.
Yeah.
And I follow the way of wisdom, Al-Sufian. And this is our divine language back into the third heaven. This is higher than your Moorish language. Your Moorish language is your higher self language to get you out of the Roman English language.
Yeah.
And when you have studied well, and you asked what to study next, it would be to study yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
This is what comes out of studying yourself, the Al-Sufian. We all, not just me. When I say Sufian Sharif, we all are Sufiyans. This is the beginning of something that's never ending. Because once found, it shall never be lost. This we had over here on the West was never ours. That was the translators.
Yeah.
They call it versions. So the Quran is his version.
Yeah.
Islam is his version. Al-Salam is our version.
Beautiful.
Al-Sufian is our version, given by the divine creator himself through the Rasul Al-Mu'id, who is called Muhammad. Peace be upon Al-Salam Al-Sufian. This is why we call it Sufaya Su. It tells us this is something you attain, not something you worship.
Yeah.
You attain peace and wisdom. Because peace is wisdom, as we read it in ancient knowledge. In that knowledge of peace is wisdom. And without peace and wisdom, you yourself will ruin and find yourself in disorder, fleshly disorder. Next instruction. To know what endures is to be open-hearted. Open-hearted.
Open-hearted.
Now, is a warlord open-hearted?
No, he's not. He's a murderer.
So we know they're not following the way.
Right.
They following those who went astray. To know what endures is to be open-hearted, magnanimous. regal.
Mm.
This is magnificent. This is the beginning of our Al-Fatiha.
Right on.
Magnificent, Al-Mujizia.
Mm.
This is what we understand as the great miracle.
Mm.
Then it says regal, which is Al-Qudus, or kudos.
Mm.
As we say kudos
Yeah.
when something is fire.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah, you hear him glad than that.
Yes, that's our divine language. Al-Qudos means holy, perfection, the circle, blessed, following the Tao. The Suf. That's the way of saying the Suf. So we have to understand the Tao is their way of saying the Al-Sufian. This is why China ain't having no problem. They follow the Al-Sufian under the Tao, called the way. But now we should know.
They ain't creating no melting pot.
This is the way, this is the Al-Sufian that endures forever. The body comes to its ending.
Mm-hmm.
But there is nothing to fear.
Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. And we can bear witness that it comes to an end because even our family members and loved ones that once were present, it ain't no more. It came to an end. What more you need to know and hear and see that and make a change. Because you're going to come to an end. But you act like you have no ending. All on your mind is getting to that job, or getting to the ball game, or playing ball, or whatever the case may be. That's all you're interested in. The game you play even come to an end. It has a starting point and an end. All right. That's your end. 17. Acting simply. True leaders. There's something about that. True leaders. False leaders. Lying leaders. True leaders are hardly known to their followers. How about that? How about that? The invader has become the leaders of North America. And that's who they follow. The leaders on Capitol Hill.
And when we see the word TRUE, true, that always refer back to the Al-Sufian, which is the true way.
Yes, indeed.
Those are the only true leaders
Right
who
on.
follow the true way.
Right on.
Anything else is a poor translation.
Yes, indeed. These presidents and everybody running for 4 years or 8 years, they ain't our leaders. But you know, made them become your leaders. After them are the leaders. The people know and admire. After them, those they fear. After them, those they despise. To give no trust is to get no trust. Just say no. That's what they said. When the work done right, with no fuss or boasting. That's how you know that it ain't being done right. Because that's all you see is fussing and boasting. Ordinary people say, oh, we did it. When the work done right. That's why we got such a big old problem and a big old mess here. And U.S.A. We got a mess. Why? It ain't being done right. Why? We have schools, we have churches, synagogues, you name it, professionals, scholars, and we have a big old mess. Somebody ain't doing it right. Well, I think people drop their guard when they hear the word of somebody, a professor of some college, Yale or any of these big time colleges, and they think when they hear he's the CEO or the dean of that school, they think it's done right. That's where we drop our guard at. And we do know if it ain't done right, it's gonna be done wrong, and you will see the result from anything that's done wrong and going wrong. You will see it. You ain't got to be a rocket scientist to figure that out.
It is clear once you got the great way.
Mm-hmm.
The great way have brought me out of the light of fools into the way of the wise. In these times and measures, those people are going off cliffs at a full steam with speed. And so the divine creator is saddened by this. So now it's a no holds bar because imams fail, sheiks fail,
That's right.
masters fail.
That's right.
People who had congregations and they was leaders over their people. From Shriners to Freemasonries to anyone in secret societies to open societies.
That's right.
If they didn't deliver the truth as is, they failed not only themselves, they harmed others. And in harming others, they harmed themselves. So in this due time, the divine creator is bringing about a reinstatement for all to be free and to only honor are based upon free will. Because everybody already got what they got coming to them. So at these times, it's no more pastor, it's no more pope, it's no more priest, it's no more imam, it's no more a master over disciples, or it's no other apostleship. All are all Sufians. If you for the divine creator. And this is the universal divine way for all humanity and for the uplifting of all humanity from the babies all the way to our great elders. Everybody deserves salvation from this wickedness. And if you're not a part of the solution, which is preaching the Al-Sufian, sharing the Al-Sufian, bringing a divine holiness to the Al-Sufian, then you are part of the problem. The Sufian will only help you. It will restore all communities and bring all communities into the oneness of the one Lord, the divine creator, the Holy One. So we must understand that with understanding, we must not only overstand, but we must stand under the divine rights of the Al-Sufian for all souls and spirits that are immortal. And we're going to continue to next instruction, 18, degree 18. Second best we covering is our subject matter. Second best, in the degradation of the great way come benevolence and righteousness. When you degrade or demote the Al-Sufian, this what comes: benevolence and righteousness. That's a code in the secret societies. A benevolent being, a master and a benefactor and a great help to society. You know, that's supposed to be the trial of the spread of the brother semen of love. But if we don't understand these secret symbologies, then we get stuck in these ideologies. And the ideal ain't right. The way you live out an ideal make it right. The next sentence says, with the exaltation of learning and prudence comes immense hypocrisy. The disordered family is full of dutiful children and parents. The disordered society is full of loyal patriots. Now, if we examine that, if someone becomes loyal to dishonor, this is what society has created.
That's right.
Members that honor.
That's right. And
disloyalty to the divine creator.
That's right.
Spit on his face.
Yeah.
Have him drag up.
Yeah.
Put the last image of a death cross.
That's right.
And loyal to it.
Yeah, loyal to it.
And then affine and say this is right, and not say that's hypocrisy.
Yeah.
This is the society that has led all our children and all our parents down a dark path.
I mean a dark path.
And we have to lift from out the muck of the lower self into the fresh air of the higher self, which is a clean and pure, undefiled way. Ain't no healthy. Healthy and sick don't go together.
Sure doesn't.
They don't lay in the same bed.
My. I've been so bad, I like went on there.
Hey, we praise the divine creator if it did. I'm telling you.
I've been to that before, man. That's where I'm laying
Yes. Oh yeah. So we coming into the next instruction.
Disorder family.
Yeah.
Just look at it. You can see it.
We can see it.
Children out of order. Won't listen to the parents. They'll dial 911 on you. They go to the crook and call him and he come and get you. Just dial 911, 3 digits.
Mm-hmm. A 9 and a 11.
Yeah.
You playing with these numbers.
Playing with these numbers. Knowing that 9 is the highest number it is, and you dial 9, and 9 your parents gonna get locked up behind 911. And he brought up him a scheme and put it in his policies and put it in so-called law, and now the Satan coming against you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that is. Why they didn't lock him up when they was making people slaves and against their own will? Did nobody go to jail? Let's start with the first president, George Washington. Did anybody lock him up when he was breaking all laws and boundary of the divine law? No, he didn't go to jail. And the paddle and the beat from that point went on. Up until now. Nobody born to be a slave until nobody.
Nobody. And that's divine law.
That's divine law.
I mean, that's why we give praise to our divine creator as divine beings.
Yeah.
Divine beings give praises to their divine creator. Non-divine beings don't got nothing to praise, but they own want and desire.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we're finna get into in our next instruction, the divinity.
All right. 19. Raw silk and uncut wood.
Mm-hmm. That's divinity right there.
Raw silk and uncut wood. Because wood was that whole. But now you want to cut it. It was whole when you found it. Mm-hmm. The tree was whole, but now you want to cut out the Amazon forest. Yeah. Stop being holy. And we've done that. We have arrived to that point. Mm-hmm. Forget being prudent. And prudent means wise thought before acting. Use that wisdom before you make your move. And we don't do that. It'll be 100 times better for everyone. Stop being altruistic. Forget being righteous. People will remember what family feeling is. Stop planning. Forget making a profit. There won't be any thieves and robbers. But even these 3 rules need be followed. What works reliably is to know the raw silk. Hold the uncut wood. Need little, want less. Forget the rules. Be untroubled. We have forgotten the divine rules, and that's why we mess we in today. The ones who making the rules is not of divinity. He's a thief and a robber.
That's a beautiful one. I like the emphasis on raw silk. We got 3 minutes and we'll be closing. The raw silk and the uncut wood. These 3 rules. Know the raw silk.
Yeah, not the artificial.
That's the divine self.
That's it.
Hold to the uncut wood.
That's it.
That's the divine consciousness.
Yes, indeed.
Need little, want less. That's for the physical world.
That's right.
And that's peace and wisdom.
That's right.
As-Salam, Al-Sufian. And that's the way of the wise.
Sure.
That's a
need little, want less, and that's why you see people do what they do. Don't even worry about it. When you look at the monk and others, they ain't worried about it. They focusing within themselves and on themselves. They ain't into want, and I got to have this, here. And if you notice all the wanters and needers, they ain't never satisfied.
Yeah, that's why they come to the West. All the migrants or immigrants they calling, they naming.
Yeah,
that's wants and desires.
That's right.
They coming over here to get their belly full, just like everybody else came over here to get their belly full. But the thing is, they never want to leave when they come to our land. They never want to leave. So we're going to be populated just by the fact that we're so good over here. The resources so plentiful over here. Even the invader don't want to leave. They go invade somewhere else. His flag's still stuck in the ground. And the divine creator don't see no flags. So the divine creator only see the way. And we're going to close if no other beautiful angelic remarks. But we'll close in the name of the divine creator, Al-Fatiha, Al-Salam, Al-Sufian. Wadu. Mm-hmm.